We just see the first chapter revision. Okay, so the basic now you can see what is data. So you must remember this one. Okay, so the main one is called data refers the raw facts. It's the main point. So you have to remember this. And the raw facts we call the data. Then we have something called information. So information means what? Information means what? The process data. So the process data we refer as what? Information. Okay. So those are the two main things in the first part. Okay. Right. So we have to see these two parts. Okay. Then we are going to see what are the characteristics of a computer. So we have these things: speed, accuracy, high storage, diligence, versatility, and cannot take decisions, and not adaptable. So speed you have to compare with the humans, so it's very fast than humans. Then accuracy also same way. Okay. Then the high storage capacity. So you have a high memory power than the humans. Then the diligence, it means for machine computer does not suffer from boredom. It means it's not getting tired or when they are asking to do many works, that one. Then we have next one for the versatility. Computer allows to perform variety of things. We can do many things at the same time. So now here I'm doing lesson, I can listen to a song. I can go to a browser. I can go to internet. Or I can start painting and do one. The same thing you can do in a particular time. And cannot take decisions. So that's the main point we have to consider nowadays, because so the computer here is saying the computer cannot think and do it. But if you see the real world situation, now it is becoming false, most of the points, that point. So why is that? Now due to AI technology, it's now changing, this taken, because now the humans decision making can be now taken by the machines also, or we call robots, AI robots. They're not adaptable. Computers are not adaptable. They perform tasks a given sequence that cannot be changed according to circumstances. That's the main thing. Okay. Then the next one, the communication technology, we have these ones. So you should know these common things as general also, right? So what are the communication technology? So nowadays, earlier, you know, the communication you will learn in the history or some of the subjects. So how do we communicate? We use arrows, those things, and we use pigeons, and likewise. Now, but if you take nowadays the digital world, so we have these things. First one is what? The email. So email is called electronic mail. Nowadays, everyone now when you have due to this situation, this COVID situation, you can see now almost all the messages are exchanged with the what? The email. Now the office people are sending their work to their employees. The employees send their work back to their boss. So likewise, they are exchanging everything now from the email. So they don't want to come to report. Then it's easy for that also. So email technology that. And the next one you can see the texting. So texting is what? Message, sending the short text message electronically. Now if you see your mobile phones, and we have chat programs, some of them, and we are mostly using texting. So if you want to send a message to someone else, okay, I am unable to come to report this day, like that, you can texting. So texting that. And the very next one is we have the social networking. So the very powerful communication technology nowadays. So it's so much powerful than the yes, any questions? Okay, right. Okay, right. So right, so networking. So social network is the most powerful nowadays. Why? Because now even the governments can change you from the social networking. So due to the social net, Facebook, those tweeting and those platform will change the mindset of the young generation and the society also. So that is a very powerful communication media at the moment, because lot of things are exchanging in the social network also, right? So and it's easy to perform what now you can do marketing. So the people who are business, they are mainly using this social network to their marketing section. So marketing is now mostly doing not from the papers or advertising, that one. So they are putting those their ads on the now where in the social network. If you want to promote, we say what do you call a soft drink, or maybe a chocolate, or maybe ice cream. So they have this one. If they want to promote it, they are nowadays exchange. You don't need to put in the paper, newspaper for spending a lot of money. And the next one we have the blogs. Blogs are website which are articles are posted regularly. Nowadays, now your views and your things, your idea about the situation, your future realistic things in your mind. So you can put your own ideas. If you have a blog, you can create your own one, and then the people will refer your blog, so they know what you are typing. So once is that one, so what's a blog is written on one user and usually focus on a particular area of the internet. So they are looking at one area, maybe scientific, maybe fashion, maybe sports. Likewise, we can focus and we can wait, or maybe experimenting. So likewise, you can search that one. So blogs are created. So about, we say you want to know about history, something like that. What is the culture look like that? So those cultural things, or maybe artistic things. So the galleries, likewise, you can put. Then next one we have where called video conferencing. So nowadays, what? Now all the students, all the people now use this video conferencing. Without that, you cannot do the work. Okay, you now feel how much very important this technology to the people due to this situation, because some areas have locked down and we cannot go to work. Some people is stuck there and they can't fly to another country. So there are so many problems due to this crisis nowadays. But this technology availability, it's make them a solution for that. So video conferencing represents a real life meeting. So now, now we are doing the same way, but we have what? Video conferencing, and we are exchanging in the lively. So it's feel you are lively talk to each other, right? So video conferencing now. So if you have video, then they can see each other. So video facility is there, or you can see the sound also, right? So the facility to connect people located in different locations who are participating in a conference. So now we are also in a meeting. So we are in a meeting about weather revision. So that's where we have. So there some companies, they may have a board meeting. So they have a, we say example UN meeting. So now UN, they are talking to each country's presidents or prime minister through this video conferencing technology, or we can Zoom, or maybe some online technology available, and they are doing. Okay. Now last one, we have the chatting. So communication online internationally through the text is called chatting. So the chatting, the user must have creating an account. Now if you want to send a message to someone else, he and she, or maybe he and he, or she and she must be in the same time in that site, or maybe that account. So that one. So there will be a chat room to set that one. Okay, right? So when you think about that, so we are going to come to the next part here, the computer system. If you take computer system, we have, if you have any computer, we have two parts. Some books mentioning that there are 3 parts. Some are books mentioning 4 parts, right? So in according to your book, they have mentioning as hardware and software. And if if you refer in some other books, if you are reading some extra materials, you can see hardware, software, liveware, and firmware. So they are categorized that way also. But according to your syllabi, you have to discuss only 2 parts. Okay. So if they ask something about computer system, just remember there are 2 parts, mainly hardware and software. Okay. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, right. So we come to the hardware part. So what are we call hardware? Now, the things, now you can see things we can physically touch. Now, example, we can say keyboard. You can see it and you can touch also. If you see a monitor, you can see the monitor and you can touch even. If you see a system, you can see that and that one, right? In the mouse, also the same way, right? So there are units which can be touched, or we call a physically available, right? The physical component of the computer systems referred as hardware, or we can say a tangible things in the computer system we call hardware, right? So right, So just remember this one, the physical components of the computer system we refer as hardware, okay, or physical components we just remember, that's enough. So when they ask what is hardware, the physical component of a computer system, that is the hardware. So in the hardware also we have three categories. We have now, you can see there are a lot of devices you can see in the computer system. They have mouse, keyboard, scanner, monitor, printer, like that. But if you take all together, we have divide those all into three categories, as they say. So one is we have called input unit or the input system or the input devices. Then next one we have the CPU, or right. Then we have something called the memory devices, and then we have something called output devices, right? So let's see the first one. We have what are input devices. According to this, so you can see a diagram they have given you about the computer system, how it works. So you can see, so you have to remember what this diagram, very, very important, is called the block diagram of the computer system. They are asking several times in question papers, and several times they have asked you to label these parts. So they have put A, B, C, D, like us, and to rename those things. So you just easily remember if you refer this diagram. Okay. So input device. So what is the input device? So the device we use to what? Input data. Now we want to enter to the computer system. We want to say, okay, I want to enter number 5. I want to enter a name. I want to enter a marks. I want to enter an employee ID. So how do you put that? So that's where we to use what? The input devices. So right, so input devices are the devices which input data to the system. We call the input devices. So input devices we have several categories, but so we have some pointing devices and non-pointing devices. So the pointing means you can point something. Now on this cursor I can point to somewhere, right? But from the keyboard you can't point. So keyboard is an input device, but you can't write. So we just see what are the main input device we have to discuss, right? So we have a keyboard, right? What is a keyboard? This keyboard is used to input data into a computer system by typing, right? So you have to use a what? It's like a typewriter you have earlier we had. Now we have replaced with the keyboard. So the keyboard we have a keys on the keyboard. So on the pressing the key, a unique set of binary digits are generated to send to that one. So when you press the A letter, when you press a number, it has a different binary code underneath. So once you press A, it will say, okay, you have pressed the A letter. So how do you identify? It has a unique pattern of ID or the pattern of number system there, right? So there are common keyboards are available. So they are called the QWERTY keyboard, or what you call standard keyboard. So if you want to find a keyboard to your work, you need to have a QWERTY keyboard. So QWERTY means what you can see in your keyboard. If you see QWERTY letters, it's called QWERTY. So in the first row of the alphabet, okay, here in this area. So if you have QWERTY, it's called QWERTY keyboard, right? Then we have laptop keyboards. So laptop keyboards are very small version of QWERTY. Right, so you can see if you see a laptop, you can see that here also, right? Right. So we have to that. Then next one called ergonomic keyboards. So ergonomic keyboards means you can hold your hands. So the board there you can like it's a bigger one. Okay, okay. It's a bigger one than the standard one. Okay, right. So next one we're going to see the next one called wireless. So wireless keyboards are also now getting popular, right? So we are using a radio frequencies to that. So you should have a kind of a Bluetooth device which is connected to your computer. Otherwise, it can't connect this one. So you have a kind of a sensor to identify this keyboard getting a signal to the system unit, right? So they have wireless. Then there are wireless mouses also there, right? So next category we're going to see is the mouse. So mouse we have mechanical mouse, and we have optical mouse and wireless mouse. So we have most popular now. This mechanical mouse is now out of the market, or let me say now not. You are rarely see that. If you can see in maybe all computer shop or somewhere you can find out, or maybe a damaged one you can see. But if you see the optical mouse, you can see it's all optical mouse are available most of the time now. Is it has a LED bulb underneath. So it's right. So LED bulb, right? So it is that the same thing, right? Then the next one has here you can see a wireless mouse. It doesn't have a cord. Now here you can see a wire here. But in this wireless mouse, it doesn't have a wire, right? Then the G-stick. The G-stick mouse is small pocket-sized wired mouse. It looks like a pencil, and it's also scroll wheel can be operated, right? Something like. Then the next category we have that we call the scanners. So scanners, okay, scanners what we are using to take pictures, details or the pictures to a computer through the scanners or the drawing. Maybe your handwritten document, maybe your painting you have done in a paper. So you can take it into the to the computer system. A file can be stored, viewed, and edited on the computer. A scanner can be connected to the computer through the USB ports. So earlier we have serial ports. Now we have most of the now modern ones are come with the USB ports. Okay, so there's another one we have called the light pen and the joystick. Those are also called the pointing devices. Okay, there are two pointing devices. Right, so you can see some examples. They have given the flatbed and a drum. So what is the here? You can see a drum here. A drum contains here. Here's a flatbed. Now, if you see the office or some schools or wherever you work, you can see these kind of flatbed scanners are most popular and it's very common. So these are very rare and it's somewhere in different scientists are using that one to scan some materials. Okay, right. Next one we have the webcams. So webcams very essential to take your details or to take a picture. What one? A camera is a popular known webcam. Okay, are used to capture picture and video clips and play them on the computer. Nowadays we can these cameras are come with microphone. So if you see a nowadays webcam, it's come with a inbuilt microphone. So when you talk to this webcam, they can hear you, right? So they can hear you. It's connected to the also from the USB cable. So you can see a USB cable is used to connect your this webcam to your device, right? So the next one we have, the next part we have the CPU. So the CPU we have considered what? ALU, what? CU, right? So processing unit, we have the processing unit. So processing means what? All the calculation part we have done through the ALU. So we have arithmetic operators and logical operators. So arithmetic operators means addition, subtraction. Then logical means what? Your comparison. So comparing which number is greater, which letter is bigger. So likewise, you can compare to this ALU. There are logical and arithmetical operators. Right. Then we have the control unit. So control unit is the what? The main control of all the devices. If we have input devices, all the things are connected to this control unit. So all the commands are go through the control unit. Right. So control unit is the what? It's the main control unit of a CPU. If you consider that. The next one we have the registers. So it's a register is a high speed temporary storage area to found on the most of the moderns, right? So we have that one. So we have registers. Then we have the called data buses, right? So the buses, we have three buses: data bus, address bus, and control bus, right? So those are the main buses you have to remember: data bus, address bus, and control bus. Then we have the computer memory. So computer memory we can categorize into mainly two: primary memory and the secondary memory, right? So primary memory we have what? RAM and ROM, right? So primary RAM, right? So right, we have this. So if you take about this one, so you have to consider what is the way you store your data. So for that one, you should know the memory equations or the what. So what is the bit means? So what is the bit? So it's stored with what? The smallest memory location or the smallest memory unit in a computer system we call the bit. So if you collect 8 bits, you have 1 byte. So if you collect that one, if you collect 4 bits, you are getting a 1 nibble, right? So that one. So we have this to be considered. Right. So we have to categorize now into primary and memory. We can see we have to see RAM. So what is the RAM? You can see this is a RAM card. So if you have a RAM, so if you have load your computer, first of all your programs, all your things are loading into where? It's into the what? It's into your primary memory, right? So primary memory RAM. So without the RAM, you cannot work. So if the RAM is not working, your computer also not working, right? So you should have a better RAM to work properly. So if your RAM capacity is low, we say you have 1 GB RAM and someone has 2 GB RAM, the 2 GB RAM person can work faster than your computer. Right? So RAM is work, right? So RAM, we have two kind of RAMs. We have static RAM and the dynamic RAM. So dynamic RAM. Then ROM also we have 3 categories. What? PROM, EPROM, and EEPROM. So you should know what are the features of these ROMs also, right? Then we have to call the secondary storage or the secondary memory. We have another name we call auxiliary storage. So auxiliary storage. So that secondary memory will store your data permanently in your computer. So if you have something loaded on your RAM, if the power goes, it will erase at once, right? But it's not like that in the secondary memory. So it will be keep the data permanent. So what once you start a program, it's still keeping on your RAM. When you press the save button, then it will pass to your hard disk in your computer by the program. Okay, right? So here we can see we have different categories of secondary. We have magnetic disk. Okay, magnetic disk, we have these categories. We have hard disk. So hard disk, or we have external hard disk nowadays. So there, so magnetic that. Okay, so magnetic is made the magnetic materials or the magnetic there, right? So right. Then next one we have the optical disk. We have for the CD types, or we have CD, DVD, and Blu-ray. Those are the optical types. Okay, so optical types are there. So then we have CD-ROMs. Also, we have 2 categories: CD-ROMs and or CDR and CDRW. CDR means compact disc readable, all right, or the recordable, right? Only read. But if you say CDRW, it is a compact disc rewritable. You can erase and write again. In the same way, we have DVDs. So DVD also have 2 types: DVD-R and DVD-RW. And you should remember what is the capacity of these ones. So if we take a CD, it's nearly 650 or 700 megabytes. Okay, 650 or 700 megabytes. Nearly we can say 700 megabytes. If you take a DVD, it is 4.7 GB or 4 GB, right? Then if you take a Blu-ray, it's nearly about 25 GB. So 25 GB is the capacity, right? So some have more than that. If you have double side there, okay, dual layers, you have 50 GB, right? In the next one, we have the called flash memory. So flash memory, we have most popular one. We got the pen drives. So pen drives are the most common storage device, and it's easy to take one place and then it just plug and play. So the flash drive is called a flash drive or USB drive. So remember those names also. So it's starting from 16 MB to 1 GB, 1 terabyte also nowadays available. So it has a lot of capacity nowadays, and it's easy to take copies or take backups from your computer, right? Then the memory stick, or the we call memory card, or the SD card you have, right? So you can see memory cards you can put in your cameras. You can see that one the same way. You can put these memory cards to store your data, right? So digital cameras is mainly using this, right? Then the smart cards are contain a chip. So if you see your credit cards, so those and it have a smart So we have a lot of things included in that chip, right? So those are the main storage devices, right? So the next one, we can see the next one, the output. So we have stored. Now we are going to take the things out from the computer. So for that one, we need to what the output devices. So for output devices, we are using mainly these one. We are using a video display unit or VDUs. So if we take VDUs, so there are three categories of VDUs. We have CRT, LCD, and LED. So CRT, LCD, and LED. So LED is the currently popular. Why? It has less space and it's cheaper, and okay, and it has save your energy also. Then we have printers. So printers we can categorize into two. So two means we have impact and non-impact. So impact means it is hits the head on the paper and it will print it there. Non-impact means it is not hitting the head on the paper and it will print the your document, right? So we have the things we are printing, we call on the printer, we call the hard copy, and the things we display on the screen, we call the soft copy, right? So the output produced on the video, we call the soft copy. The printed things or the output produced on a paper, we call the hard copy. Okay, so you have to remember that, right? The next one, we have, when you take impact printers, we have these categories. We have impact printers according to line printers, character printers, and dot matrix. So character printers, it will print character wise. So here we are, if you take line printers, it will print line by line. So line by, it will take that. Then the most popular one we have here, the dot matrix. So dot matrix is the most popular one. Okay, right? Then the next one, okay, the non-impact printers. So it is not hitting on the head. So that we have these categories. We have thermal, we have chemical, and electrostatic and laser beam. So those are the ones, and inkjet. So if you take inkjet printers, so inkjet printers are mostly used in the common, in your home usage, likewise, or sometimes the office, right? So inkjet we are not using most that one. So we have to use the kind of a laser printer for that. So laser printer is print on a one page. That one has a drum. So in the drum, it will heat at the toner ink or toner dust, and it will spray to the paper, right? So like that. Then the next one we have the category we have to call the speakers. Okay. Okay. Any questions, children, up to here?
No, sir.
Okay, because the time is going up now today, so I'll just continue. Okay, this one, and if you have any question, please ask. Okay, so next one we have to call the software. Puta. Software we have two categories. What are those? System software and application software. The system software we have operating systems, assemblers, compilers, and interpreters. Right, interpreters and that, right? And those are the main categories of system. In the second category we have application. So application based one we can categorize into general purpose and special purpose application softwares. So general purpose means generally what you are doing word presentations, then database management. So those are the one. What is my specific purpose or special purpose? So it's mean now if you take in a company, you have to make a accounts management, or to manage, there may be not one or maybe not 100 or 200, there may be millions of business transactions happening. So to that one, to manage and to monitor those transactions, we have to use this special purpose or the specific purpose application software. And the reservation system, so to reserve some booking there, railway or maybe airlines, so you have to use that. Then the human resource management, so right, then the payroll systems. So those are the ones we have to consider under application. So we have two categories, general purpose and special purpose, right? Right. Then we have Next one, the mobile application. We have these things. So we have all mobile apps. So that's the most popular of all that. So for one nowadays we have using these apps most of the time, right? So we have Instagrams, WhatsApp. So likewise many apps are available, right? So all are in the, we have in the called Google Play Store, right? The Google Play Store, or the we have Apple iStore, right? So they are, so they can use it. Then we have native apps, web apps, and hybrid apps. So they are the three kind of mobile apps, right? Then we have the computer languages. So we have two categories. We have low level languages and high level, right? So low level languages we use these ones. So we have low level, we have used earlier, we call it machine language. Machine language means what? It use what? Digits, zeros and ones, and it directly coordinate. It is the fastest to communicate with the computer system using a machine language. But if you're using an assembler, you need a translator in between that. So it's called the assembler. So assembler is the where you use to translate your machine code into the assembly language. So that one you have to convert. Then after that, we have something called the last one nowadays. We have called the high level languages. So high level language used to your speaking language, maybe English, right? So maybe that, so maybe English language we are using. So it's easy for the human to understand and the machine codes. So machine code means you can't remember these zeros and ones pattern for every human. Some may be the scientists or maybe genius people cannot remember, but the simple person want to learn the computer language, it's difficult from the beginning from the machine language. But if we learn from the English language or with the high level language, which is easier to understand, so they can learn the computer languages easily. For one of them is the easier. So easier one is what? Is the high level language. Then if you take some examples, we have what? Basic, Pascal, Fortran, C++, Java. So a lot of languages are nowadays there, right? So they are the ones we have to discuss. Okay. So any questions, children?
No, sir. Clear.
Yeah, no? So likewise, I will discuss the next chapters also. Okay. So hope to see you on next day, Putra. Okay. I just send you a paper if it's possible for you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, children, for
Okay, sir.
joining. Okay. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.